So welcome back to the 67 Hail Hail channel on YouTube with me, Hamish Carton. Delighted to say that we have John McGinley back on the line. John, how are you?
I'm good, Hamish. Good to be back. Good to see you're hosting again rather than last week.
Yeah, good to be hosting, and obviously as good as we two are on the YouTube channel, everyone's really interested in the man there in the middle of the screen, Jackie McNamara, back on the channel. Jackie, just another quiet week in the world of Celtic.
Yeah, it's been a strange time, but it's good to be back and looking forward to watching the games again.
Yes, we're going to touch on this video about Shane Duffy, a player that Celtic have been linked with quite a lot over the last week or so. I'll get your thoughts in a wee second, Jackie. First of all, John, can I just ask you, you're the one that's on the website and you're in the know with everything that's going on. What's the kind of current latest status with Shane Duffy, and what are the chances, do you think, of this one coming off?
It's a difficult one because there's kind of resistance between the club and the player, apparently, by all accounts. The Scottish Mail on Sunday reported yesterday that he wants to move to Celtic and Brighton want to sell him on a permanent basis to one of the English Premier League clubs that are interested, West Brom, West Ham, etc. We're looking for a short-term loan, and whether it comes off remains to be seen. It's £2 million. And it's good because actually last time I had Jackie on, he did talk about the need for perhaps bringing in a central defender to complement Chris Ayer and Chris Jullien. And so, Jackie, first off, we'll get your thoughts on what a defender can bring to Celtic, and specifically Shane Duffy, if he's the type of defender that could really help solidify this new Lennon team.
Yeah, I think, in terms of numbers, and I think Neil's wanted to have a few players in different positions, as cover. And it's one area that, when you asked me last week, I thought that's an area that we need to strengthen. If Ayer's out, I know they can put Nir Beaton in there, or El Hamid can come into the right-hand side, but I think for continuity and flexibility in the team, if he can also go to a three at the back, which he's done quite a few times last year, and between the European games coming up, and every league game is so important, as we see so far. After we've played two, and you see how important every league game is going to be. So we need everybody at it, everybody pushing each other this season more than most.
Yeah, I mean, the reports that we're seeing, as John touched on, Jackie, is that we could be looking or have to pay as much as £2 million for one season of Shane Duffy. Now, a lot of Celtic fans may look at that and think that's a lot of money. I would argue that maybe spending £2 million in the likes of Marian Shved and Bio and players like that just shows that the club can afford to spend that. What are your thoughts on paying that amount of money for effectively one season for a player like that?
It's a lot for one season. I get what you're saying with Shved and Bio, but they're still Celtic players are out on loan. If they do well, they're out on loan. They can recoup the money that they spend. It's a business as well, and it's and I think we've been very, very good over the years in the transfer market. Not every player is going to work. Going back to my time there's been a lot of fantastic football players that have came through the doors at Celtic Park, but just couldn't handle the demands and the pressures that go along with it. It's not the ability, it's the mental ability to handle week in. And you see over the last sort of season, going into this season, the importance of mental strength. And that's why that's why we've got 9 in a row just now, and we're pushing for 10 because we have that winning mentality. And it's been the key players over the last number of years that's driven the club forward. The Browns, McGregors, Forests. They've got a nucleus there of a winning mentality, and you add 1 or 2 players in that you hope they're going to complement the team. And I think that's why it's so important that, Duffy, that has been mentioned, could be a good one for the season. I don't see it being a waste of money. If it's only a waste of money if it doesn't work out and we win the league.
Just on, you mentioned the core nucleus of a team there, and you mentioned McGregor and Forrest and Scott Brown to an extent, although I don't think he grew up a Celtic fan. He's certainly a Celtic icon at the moment. The interesting thing about the Duffy situation as well is that he's reported to be, or is, a massive Celtic fan. And I mean, how important is it to have a core nucleus of people who have a passion for the club, especially in such an historic season? Now, you yourself know what it's like to take part in a massively hyped season like this. You stopped to 10 in 97, 98. For you, was having Celtic fans in the dressing room crucial to that? And the likes of you and Simon Donnelly, and do you think that's another factor that would just make Duffy more of a success? More of a success at Celtic?
Yeah, I think he'll obviously understand the club and what this season means. I think most of the players at the club understand it now. Even back then when we were stopping 10, a lot of new players came in at the start of the season. A wee guy called Larson came in, a few others. But Paul Lambert and Craig Burley. Again, not Celtic fans growing up, but once they're at the club, it's a different story. Shane, I think he'll know the importance of this year coming in. I mean, he'll want to be part of that more than anything. He'll want to be a part of that and remembering that. You've seen players come up to Celtic over the years with Roy Keane, Robbie Keane's, just to be part of something at that stage, and I'm sure Shane Duffy will be the same.
Yeah, I mean, most Celtic fans have probably seen the videos of him in the pub not so long ago and singing the Celtic songs and all that kind of thing. And it obviously is important to have players like that in such a big season. When you look back to your big years, and obviously it was you guys stopping the 10 rather than winning the 10, was that an important part of stopping the 10, having a nucleus of players that really knew what it was about at that point and what history meant to the fans?
Yeah, we would maybe feel the pressure a bit more, but they understood right away. You knew, even from pre-season, it was such a tough start for us. We got a new manager, we'd lost our manager. It was a tough time, and the fans' expectation there to try and stop the 10 that year. But Vin came in and settled down. He hadn't come from a background that knew what was going on. He brought in Larson, as we said. He brought in guys like Reaper, solidified the defence. We lost the first 2 league games. But once we clicked, we clicked that season with such a great bond in the dressing room between the homegrown lads and the lads that came in, the sort of Scandinavians, if you like.
Do you like the look of that signing, John Duffy?
I like the look of Duffy, yeah. I think he's just a big physical specimen. He's got experience of going up against elite attackers, in the English Premier League as an international Ireland. I think it's something Celtic really need. Jackie said we need a defender. I agree with him, and he looks a good one. Whether it comes off or not, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit in the balance, but it's certainly one to watch over the coming days. And we'll be all over it on the site. And if he does sign, we'll get Jackie back on to tell us a bit about what he thinks about that.
Yeah, definitely. You were kind of teasing a video that we've got coming up later in the week when we're going to touch on the formation and 3-5-2 in particular. Jackie, just to finish off this video, do you think that a signing like Duffy would effectively mean that Neil Lennon is looking at going back to 3-5-2 for the majority of games this season?
Yeah, I think he'll want options in his team. He signed another striker, which is important. I felt there's a lot of pressure on Edouard. He's let Bayo go out on loan and get game time. Shved, we've not really seen him at all. You got Kamala, who scored in the first game, but so I think the most important thing is he's got options there to be flexible in how he wants to play. And I think another centre half gives you that flexibility. That is a position that it worries me. You're talking about being aggressive. I don't think we've got real aggression in the other two centre halves. Julian looks like he could be, but just now, he's for me aggression. I played alongside Bobo or Bobo Balde or Johan Mialbi, who were aggressive and physical, and he wouldn't get bullied around with centre forwards. And I just feel we're a bit soft in that area at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you only had to see the Kelly away game to see the Kabamba that played
said
up top, and he pulled on to Julian especially, and Ayer didn't exactly cover himself in glory there either. So I think if we could get Duffy as part of a back three, he could deal with the big physical target man and almost leave Julian and Ayer to get on with things. So yeah, lots and lots to be positive about. Thanks very much, Jackie and John, for joining us. Lots more to come throughout the week. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, we really would appreciate you doing that. Click subscribe, click the bell as well so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, and we'll speak to you soon. Hail, hail.